Okay, so when you are like just catching up on the news,
Mm,
like maybe scrolling through your phone while you're making coffee,
right.
and you come across a story about like a government program that is like getting a makeover,
Hmm.
you're probably thinking like, huh, that's pretty interesting.
Yeah.
But like, what is really going on,
Yeah. What's the real story?
like beneath the surface?
Yeah.
And that is what we are diving into today.
Okay, cool.
We're taking a closer look at this pretty significant program in Jharkhand called the Maiyan Samman Yojana.
Oh, yeah, this is a big one.
Yes.
It started with such a powerful promise, right? Like the idea of giving, 2,500 rupees every single month to women between the ages of 18 and 49.
Yeah,
I mean, that's a level of financial support that could really, change people's lives.
for sure.
So the
Yeah.
initial announcement, it had that sense of, positive impact.
Yeah, it's the kind of commitment that makes you want to learn more.
Exactly.
But recently there has been a pretty big change in how the Yojana works. There is a new rule
Oh, right.
that requires you to have a ration card in order to get the benefits.
Interesting.
And that's what we are trying to figure out today.
Yeah.
Like, what does this new requirement actually mean? And, more importantly, like, why is it happening?
Yeah, the reasoning behind it.
Exactly. And we have been looking through all the recent reports to get a clearer picture.
Cool.
So,
So, let's just get straight to it.
yeah.
As of right now, if you are looking to, benefit from the Maiyan Samman Yojana in Jharkhand,
Yeah.
having a ration card is not an option anymore.
Right.
It's a requirement.
You have to have it.
You have to have it. Yeah, it's a directive that has come directly from the Women, Child Development and Social Security Department.
Mm-hmm.
And this single new regulation is really the core of, what we are talking about today.
Absolutely. And the reasons behind this change, from what we can tell, come down to two main things. Number one, like making sure this, considerable financial support really gets to the women who are eligible and who actually live in Jharkhand.
Makes sense.
And the second big reason is, addressing the problem of fraud, which seems to have become a pretty serious challenge for this program.
Oh, yeah, definitely. When you think about the scale of this initiative,
Right.
it really puts these measures into perspective because it's not a small project.
No.
We're talking about a huge financial commitment.
Yes.
Jharkhand's budget for the current fiscal year,
Uh-huh.
like a massive 13,363 crore rupees, has been set aside specifically for the Maiyan Samman Yojana.
Yeah, that's a lot.
When you compare that to the total budget of 1,045,400 crore rupees,
Right.
you realize that this program represents a big chunk of it.
Yeah.
And that kind of money attracts attention.
Oh, for sure.
And unfortunately, sometimes it also leads to people trying to take advantage of it.
Yeah, and some of the reports of potential misuse are really shocking.
Like what?
Like one case that really stood out was they found 95 women,
Wow.
all connected to a single bank account.
Seriously.
90?
That's crazy.
It's like something out of a movie, right?
Totally.
And it wasn't just some mistake within Jharkhand.
Oh,
This account was all the way in Patagoda Barakanti,
where is that?
in the North Dinajpur district of West Bengal,
Oh, wow.
connected to someone named Yusuf.
Like, how is that even possible?
I know, it makes you wonder, right?
Yeah, how could something like that happen?
Well, the suspected method behind this fraud is actually pretty interesting
What is it?
and kind of worrying.
Oh, no.
The reports suggest that computer operators who were supposed to be filling out the applications for the program
Mm-hmm.
were the ones who actually made this happen.
Oh, really?
It seems like there might have been a weakness in the process early on
Uh-huh.
where maybe they didn't have enough checks and balances.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And it wasn't the only problem either.
Oh,
There have been a lot of reports about money going to people who were definitely not supposed to get it,
like who?
like wives and daughters of government employees. You would think those people wouldn't need this kind of help,
Right.
but somehow they ended up on the list.
Wow.
And the government knows about these issues,
Okay, good.
and they have been working to remove these ineligible names.
That's good to hear.
Yeah, and that is where this whole new ration card rule comes in.
Right.
It's the main way they're trying to verify who should be getting the benefits.
I see.
The idea is that if you have a valid ration card,
Uh-huh.
it proves that you live in Jharkhand.
Makes sense.
So by making this a requirement,
Okay.
the government wants to create a more reliable system
Yeah.
to figure out who the real beneficiaries are
Right.
and get rid of the people who don't actually live in the state.
Okay, cool.
It's interesting to imagine someone like the Social Security Director,
Yeah.
Samara S., explaining how important this change is.
Right.
Like, you can almost hear her saying that from now on.
Yeah.
A ration card is absolutely necessary.
You have to have.
Yeah, you have to have it, and that they are going to use the Food and Supply Department's system
Okay.
to make sure everything is correct.
So they are going to use a system that's already in place.
Exactly, to confirm who is really living in Jharkhand.
Yeah, that's smart.
And they are not just manually checking documents, they are using a lot of technology to verify everything.
Cool. What kind of technology?
Well, APIs are really important here.
What are those?
API stands for Application Programming Interfaces.
Okay.
Basically, an API is like a secure digital connection that lets the computer system at the Women and Child Development Department talk directly to the Food and Supply Department's ration card database.
So it's like automatic.
Yeah, it's like a direct real-time check.
Oh, cool. So they don't need someone to check every single application?
Exactly. And on top of that direct link, they are working with some big national organizations.
Like who?
Like the National Payment Corporation of India, or NPCI.
I've heard of them.
They handle like all the retail payments in India.
Right.
And make sure money transfers are safe and efficient.
Yeah.
And they are also working with the National Informatics Center, which is NIC, and the Public Financial Management System, or PFMS.
Okay.
These partnerships allow them to double-check things like age and residency.
That makes sense.
So it adds extra layers of security to the whole process.
Got it.
And Aadhaar, India's unique identification system, plays a big part, too.
I was wondering about that.
They are linking ration cards with Aadhaar numbers, which makes it even easier to identify people.
And what if someone has problems with that link?
Well, if there are any issues with the Aadhaar PDS linking, the Unique Identification Authority of India, or UIDAI, is there to help fix them.
That's good.
So that people who are eligible don't get left out because of some technical glitch.
Makes sense.
And there's another big change.
Oh, what's that?
Starting in April this year, there's a new rule about how they send the money. Now, the benefits will only go into bank accounts that are directly linked to the beneficiary's Aadhaar number.
That's interesting.
Yeah, it's a direct response to those problems we talked about.
Right.
Like that one account with 95 people connected to it. They want to stop that kind of large-scale misuse that they found during their checks.
Yeah. I can see why they're doing that.
It's important to remember the main goal of the Maiyan Samman Yojana.
What's the real point of this program?
It's about giving support to women who need it.
Right.
For many of them, that 2,500 rupees every month is so important.
Yeah, it can make a huge difference.
It can give them some financial stability and maybe even help them become more independent.
For sure. It can have a real impact on their lives and their families.
Exactly. And that's why this whole fraud thing is so worrying. Every time someone misuses the system, it hurts the people who are actually supposed to benefit from it.
Absolutely.
The money that gets taken by fraud is money that should be going to the women who really need it.
The women who actually qualify.
Right.
So basically what we've learned is that the Jharkhand Maiyan Samman Yojana has gone through some big changes.
Yeah.
They are making ration cards mandatory and requiring everyone to have a single bank account linked to their Aadhaar.
Yep, those are major changes.
And they are doing all of this because they have found a lot of fraud.
Right. They want to make sure that the money goes to the right people.
Yeah, the people it was meant for.
It's exactly what started out as a pretty simple and helpful program has run into some real-world problems.
Yeah, that happens sometimes.
But by understanding the whole situation, like those specific examples of misuse, like that crazy case with the 95 linked accounts and why they are doing all this verification stuff, you get a much better understanding of what's going on.
Yeah, definitely more than just reading the headlines.
Exactly.
This makes you think about how hard it is to run these big social programs.
Yeah.
You want to help people who need it. But you also have to make sure no one is cheating the system.
Right. It's a tough balance.
It really is. And it's something that governments have to constantly work on.
Absolutely.
It makes you wonder what other solutions are out there.
Yeah.
Like, what other creative things could governments try to make sure that the people who are struggling the most get the help they need without making it too complicated for them?
Yeah, like how do you make sure it's easy to get help, but also hard to cheat?
Exactly. It's a really complicated problem.
It is.
And there are no simple answers.
For sure. And things are always changing.
Yeah.
As we learn more about what works and what doesn't.
Definitely. It's something we'll have to keep watching.
Absolutely.
See how it all develops.
Yeah. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive.
Of course, it was great to be here.
And we'll see you next time.
Sounds good.
Okay. Bye.